Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are cruising on forward on our constructions, and things are going, actually price is really low.
Ships
Hang
upgraded.
on, let's buy in a bunch of alloys there we go. So that'll be absolutely wonderful. We've got a bunch of alloys now. We had a decent amount, but now we have a solid amount, so that's really, really good. Now, of course, some of that is still being used up by our construction ships and by our upgrade process, which I think is very, very close to being finished. It is finished. Okay, so that is done. That's wonderful. And then we've got this construction ship up over here in Vayer at this moment. So it is idle, and it looks like it is ready to move on. So we need to head up into Gothra, and of course, our main lack at this point is going to be influence. Do we have another idle construction ship? We do. So for the time being, this is already built. So we could head over to Terminal Egress, and we could build out over here. But we're just going to travel for the time being, while this construction ship is going to begin progress on building an actual habitat here. So we'll build a habitat central complex, and that'll be fine, but we're lacking influence for a second one. Okay, we'll dispatch the individual here. That seems okay. And we now have, of course, quite a lot of alloys. Wow, the price really skyrocketed after we bought. Interesting. Okay, I guess AI really wanted to buy as well. Well, that means we won't be buying more for a little bit, but we can come down over this direction, of course. And we can start working on some of these stations. Now, we know that we need minor artifacts to get these all converted over, right? Specifically, if we come out over here and we go to the Eye of Ball, we know that we're going to want to change these eventually over to Ancient Ramparts. And we can get started on that anyway. So we can do 1 here, 2, 3, and now we're lacking. Okay. So on this next month tick, we'll be able to get 1 more. And we can do roughly 1 of these per month. It's slightly under 1 per month, because these are going to cost a total of 34 minor artifacts, and we are currently
New
making
frontiers
31.
established.
So that's understood. We can get that going, and the next location would be here. We're lacking 3, so in 2 months we can get that fully completed. And then, of course, the only other one that we're going to need to do for that is this in Demon's Maw. So that'll be wonderful. And then, of course, going through these, we know that we have a good number of these already completed, but it's not fully done yet. We're working on the Ariga station at this point. So we definitely have some progress done here, and let's get some defense platforms going in here. What is this? New Federation President? Oh, we're the President. Okay. That is noted. We'll look at that in a moment. So let's put all of these alloys into defensive platforms here. That'll get a good chunk of those done. We also just got this colony established. Okay, so we want to put in gene clinics here, as well as a habitation district. That will be absolutely fine. So that looks good. Now, we're the president. So, does that mean that we want to change anything? The succession term is 20 years. We could bump it up to 40 years and double our amount of time. And we can see economically, we are the second most powerful in the block right now, behind the Corinth Temple of Renewal. That will likely change very soon, but everybody's voting to change this. So let's go ahead and vote yes on that. We'll change that over right now. And that seems absolutely wonderful. So we have 2 idle construction ships at this moment. There's one up here in Alphard. This, of course, needs to be colonized immediately. So we'll get that going. And then this construction ship is going to need orders. So for the time being, we're going to start like up here. There's going to be a lot of minor orbitals. Pretty much entirely minor orbitals out this direction. There are no planets in this system, just asteroids. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a bit on the minor side, but that's okay. It doesn't actually matter. We can put in minor orbitals in all of these locations, and that will be absolutely fine. Cool. That looks done at this point. Wonderful. So, of course, the construction ship here is waiting on having enough influence. That's absolutely a thing. And this did indeed succeed. So the term is now 40 years. I don't know if that takes effect on the next term. No, it does not. Okay, beautiful. So we're not going to vote for strongest at this point. Nobody would vote for this, I don't think. That's interesting. I think we'll keep it on rotation, and otherwise this is reasonably fine. War declaration is on president decides. That seems okay. Majority vote. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about it. I don't think we even need to take over the Federation, to be honest. Although we probably want to summon the big one during this term while we are the Federation president. So that'll be a good thing to do.
New frontiers established.
And we can sell off some of this food. And what's the price on alloys? Really high at this moment. Okay. So Rathari Prime has been established. Hydroponics farms here. Okay, this is definitely an agro world. We can repair all of these hydroponics farms. Insufficient building slots for this one. Okay, that's understood. So this is fine for the moment. We've got this advanced storm repulsion center though, and I'd like to replace that with a storm relief center. We've got this hypercoms forum, which is probably okay, but I'm going to replace it, I think, with a storm summoning theater, which we can't build. That's interesting. Okay, so I'm not sure what it is exactly that's not allowing this. Does not have building advanced storm repulsion center. I think that's the issue. Okay, let's take a look at what we've got going on over here. So we don't have a star base here. There's this advanced storm repulsion center. So despite the fact that this would happen first, we can't actually queue it up until that's done. Okay. That's understood. It's going to be mildly awkward, but we'll just let it go for the moment. That's fine. Okay, so I'd really like it if the price of alloys was low. We could sell some alloys and just, like, play the market on that, but I don't think that that's something that I want to do at this time. The Nemean Starbase just finished up here. Nemean Prime. Okay, so this is a alloy production, a forge world, right? So we currently have a alloy processing facility here. That looks good. And we can make this then be an orbital logistics system. We produce a little bit of consumer goods here, but it's not a lot. Then I kind of want to put in a habitation module. Something along the lines of that. Okay, so that looks good. You can see here we are getting up there in our naval cap to the point where we could theoretically build another fleet. I don't think we necessarily want to at this time. Maybe a little later on. But at this moment, I think we're going to keep ourselves at 3 fleets. Especially since we have access to the Federation fleet. Now then. We can put in some module slots here. That's going to cost influence if we want to put in habitation modules. But we kind of do want to put in habitation modules. So that's understood. This is a newly founded colony here. So obviously we want to put in gene clinics and a habitation district. And, I mean, that's definitely going to be expensive for us. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to disband this construction ship. We have a little bit too much of influence demand, and that will lessen our influence demand right now. So that seems fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start putting in these habitation modules. So we'll get both of those queued up here, and then we're going to come in here. We're going to do 2. We're not going to have enough influence to get 2 more just yet. But these are reasonably cheap, at least for now. So that's understood. We do have these stations being worked on. It will take some time before they're ready to go. So that's understood. Price on alloys is coming down. That's not bad. Okay, it's back up. It's kind of bad now. But we absolutely need influence at this moment. And it's going to take a lot of influence to get all of this built, right? So that's going to take a little bit of time. Do we have orbital rings around all of these planets that we took over? I think we do. That's definitely got an orbital ring. Okay, not all of them. So that's understood. We just founded this colony, and I'm going to replace this with a gene clinic. We're definitely going to want that going. Okay, next time a construction ship comes up, we're going to retask it from building habitats to building some orbital rings. We know we're going to need at least some of those, so that will definitely be a thing that we're going to want to do. In the meantime, of course, we're still interested in getting more alloys. The price is not quite... Ooh, actually, never mind. We'll buy a little bit at that price. Cool. So that looks fine for now. Astral Rift event pending? Oh, that is very unfortunate. But we gained 10,000 alloys. Okay. Our scientist died, but we did gain 10,000 alloys. Sure. So we're going to bring in a new scientist here. There we go. And we'll go for, say, none of these are all that useful. Sure. We'll put you on science ship automation for everything except special projects. Just go do stuff. Fantastic. So we're at 17,000 alloys right now. And of course, we want to spend those alloys. So let's come on down to the Ariga A station. We should be getting pretty close to being able to max this out. I don't want to spend quite all of these alloys. I'm going to stop about here for the time being. And that puts us at 52. That's actually really close to maxed out. Hang on. That's maxed out. Okay, beautiful. So that's Ariga finished. Now I want to come out over this direction because we know that we need more ancient ramparts here, right? So we know that we need an ancient rampart here and an ancient rampart here. And then the question is, how many of those minor artifacts do we have? 213, that's pretty close to being able to get Demon's Maw switched over.
Research
So that
complete.
looks reasonably fine. Oh, we just finished up battleship hull points? Sure. We can grab advanced battleship hulls here. That'll be fine. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to get this flipped over to running ancient ramparts. I don't know if we have enough minor artifacts overall. It's going to be very close. I think we do, actually. I don't think... Did this actually go? Yes. Okay, cool. So that's all underway now, and we can just be banking up our minor artifacts. That's a very good thing. How are we doing here? 650 days? Sure. Seems absolutely fine. 2.9, 1.46. Let's buy in a few alloys here. Excellent. So that was about 5,000 additional alloys coming in. Always a great thing to have. We are currently full on astral threads. Yeah, we should gain our physics insight and our astral boost. That'll be fine. Ah, this is the Federation fleet here. Yeah, we're going to pull back that to terminal egress. It's a powerful fleet. No doubt about that. Let's put this guy in charge of it for now. Okay, so that's fine. We're not going to really utilize it for the moment, but it is certainly a powerful fleet. What is our Federation fleet cap? 600? Sure. That's absolutely understood. Okay, checking in on our civilian ships here. Not too much to be ordered at this moment. That is a good thing. And let's take a look through here. A Freere Prime is going to need a job. I want to upgrade that site a revitalization center for the moment. What else might we need through here? Well, Urntok Prime is a tech world that requires a job. That pretty much means a research lab. And that'll be fine. We've got Kochab Secundus in basically the same exact position. So we put in a research lab here as well. Order restored on Mugdal. That is, of course, a good thing. And we've got Nisa Taram Prime here. Okay, so this is absolutely a mining station. I'm going to put in a mineral purification plant here to start with. Now I've got Satatoni Prime here. This is maxed out on its mining, so we probably want to have this become an alloy / consumer goods / general industrial world. So a Ministry of Production plus a civilian industry plus an alloy foundry would be absolutely wonderful. And then we can max out the industrial districts here. Although we might want to leave one slot... No, never mind. We've got a planetary capital here. So we can make this all be industrial, and this slot will be unlocked by upgrading our capital. So that'll be absolutely fine. What else do we need here? Anything? Looks pretty good, to be honest. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. Of course, we are going to need to come down here and get a couple more of these habitation modules building. So that's fine. We know that we're going to have a pretty big deficit of influence, but eventually that will get finished. We're lacking 1 influence for right now. Okay, 1 influence.
Building a new home.
Pirates? Okay, we'll deal with those in a moment. Habitation module, where are these pirates? Olbers. Okay. I'm going to send the Hurricane fleet out to do that. My first thought was the Federation fleet, but they're not in position, so we're going to have to move this in like so. That'll be fine. So there's all of those orbital rings good to go. Do we have another ruined orbital ring? We do not. So that's good to know. We are going to need to build some orbital rings, though. So the bow chaser out here at Aranis is finished. Yes. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to have that start moving out to Ruthari for right now. And we're just going to have that move through here. We're going to check all of these worlds. In fact, hang on, not Ruthari. I wanted them to move out to Minshir. We're going to move up here. We're going to check all of these worlds as we go through and make sure that they have orbital rings. That's the current mission. We just finished a Habitat Central Complex out over here in Huntor. That, of course, means we need to send out our colonization bugs. Off they go. And we are then going to need to build a few orbitals here, although there's really not that many celestial bodies here. So we can do something like this. And that's kind of it. Okay. Well, that's not going to keep that busy for very long, but that's okay. Order has been restored on Florp, which is, of course, a wonderful...
Council agenda ready.
Okay, we have our council agenda ready. We should probably launch that. Specialist pop resource output would be fantastic. From here, we could do, say... What are we even interested in? Impenetrable border is an interesting thing. Let's go ahead and launch that. That'll be fine. Okay, what's the price on alloys? It's not amazing at this moment. It's not terrible either. It's kind of middle of the road. Yeah, I'm not going to buy at this price, but it's tempting. It is indeed tempting. So going down through our orbital rings here, I want to go down to Ariga Station. This is finished, right? Yeah. So we need to go to Waga next, and this one has no defense platforms whatsoever at this moment. So we're definitely going to need to start putting in some of these. There we go. That was 15. Okay, that's not too bad. So we finished up in Olbers, and these guys are going to head on back to Gothra. No problem. And yeah, we took no losses here, which we expect. We did not expect to take any losses. So that sounds fantastic. We have a bunch of defense platforms we're still interested in building here, but to be honest, there's not that many. We've got 2 sets of them out over here, right? And then we've got the Waga Station. Penix Station is largely complete already. Kazavius is also largely complete. They're not completely complete. So we've got like 4, 5, 6 completely unstarted. Amlitzer has a couple. It's not that many. But the rest of these are pretty close to done. So we should be able to get through those fairly quickly. Oh, that's a good price on alloys. I'm going to buy in a few. I'd like to buy in more. Yes. They going to sell again? It would be fantastic if they did. No, they're not. Okay, that's understood. That's absolutely fine for the moment. So let's check in on how our construction ships are doing. Ah, we do have an idle one over here in Minchir. Right. We were going to build an orbital ring, and we're full on food again. Let's sell some of that. There we go. So we wanted to come up over this direction and build an orbital ring. Each of these is going to be 50 influence. So that's going to be a little expensive on the influence, but we'll get that started. And it'll be a little more expensive once we get those upgrading. But that is absolutely fine. We want to just get this finished, right? So in each of these locations, we can see Medoc Prime already has one. That's absolutely fine. Rogul Prime, Welshmoria has one. Rogul Prime is a habitat and cannot get one. Ulrike down over here, we've got one. So that's not an issue. Orglion. Orglion Prime has an orbital ring. Okay. What about Takvan over here? Orbital ring? Velderam? Where's the settled world here? That's the arc furnace. Okay, this is just a habitat, so that is not actually anything. We've got Bam down here. It's got an orbital ring. Okay. Hang on. I just want to double check. We've got Bleg and, yeah, just Bleg. So that's fine. Then we can check in on, let's see, we checked Bam. So that's everything up here. So we know up here, all we need is the 2 in Minshir. That's not bad. So then we've got Ruthari here. Ruthari Prime has an orbital ring. Leashes, we've got Mugdal, which has an orbital ring. We've got Shmeg, which is a habitat and cannot have one. Okay. Next up, we've got Echachromia, which has an orbital ring. Looks good. And it's even got habitation modules. Not bad at all. Although we might want to investigate these. Hang on. So Echachromia 4 is an ecclesiastical center, and it's got a disruption field generator and a communications jammer. So we would be potentially interested in putting in an orbital filing system, and then like a gigamall here. Okay, so that'll be fine. We can actually go through all of these and double check their setups. So Florpa's got one here, and this has got a synaptic relay and alloy processing facility. This is set up as a forge world. So an alloy processing facility, not a bad thing. A synaptic relay is, I guess, probably not useful. I'm going to go for an orbital logistics system there. Okay, then we've got Tistra down here. We've got Tistra Prime. No orbital ring here. Okay, so we know that we need an orbital ring there, and we know that we need 2 orbital rings here, but that's actually it for construction of orbital rings. Now, I want to go back up through these, and I want to look at Mugdal. So we can see that has climate optimization and a defense grid supercomputer. This is a generator world, and it does have some agriculture on it. So let's go ahead and replace the defense grid supercomputer with a stratospheric ionization element. There we go. And then we've got Ruthari up over here. What do we got in this? Okay, that's pretty empty. No problem there. So now we've got Bayam over this way. This is empty and being rebuilt. Looks good. Velderam, we know that there's nothing there, just a habitat. And Schlob, the orbital ring here is empty and rebuilt. Okay, that looks good. Orglion, anything needed here? No. Ulrike, the orbital ring is up this way. It's being worked on. No problem there. And then we've got Medoc. Medoc Prime was down here, and that's being built. Okay, looks good. So we now know the orbital ring situation out over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... Well, we're building this orbital ring right now, but I want to queue up... Okay, I'm dumb. I misclicked that. We're going to restart this orbital ring, and I want to queue up an orbital ring here. As soon as we get a month tick, we'll be able to do that. Unfortunately, we lost some progress on that orbital ring, but that's okay. So we're just waiting on that month tick for right now. While we're waiting, let's check in on the price of alloys. It's not bad. Okay. We'll buy a few, but not a ton at that price. But we'll definitely be interested in a few. Okay, month tick is happening now. So the next thing I want to do, now that that's happened, is I want to build an orbital ring here. Then I want to order this guy to come down to Tistra. We don't have enough to queue this up, but we can enter orbit here. So that'll just keep a reminder here of where this is going to need to be built. So that'll be absolutely wonderful. Okay, so we are making our way through all of that influence deficit. We'll get there soon enough. And I did just see there was something up here. Where was that? It did that thing where the game freezes and I moved the mouse and then I lost where it was because it scrolled. There was a thing. There was a job that needed to be done. But this isn't it. This is a different thing. We can definitely put in an industrial district on Escaminza Prime, but there was a job. Migration was available, so maybe the job migrated. That would be fine if that's the case. I'm not seeing it now. Okay, well, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue work on these orbital rings, getting them finished up, and also continuing to put large amounts of resources into our defense platforms, which are getting pretty close to done at this point. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Hiro Marutsu, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.